Howdy, it's Mr. Pete again. Welcome back to the channel. This is another one of my short subjects, and it's about drilling cross holes that are centered, not offset. Not an easy thing to do freehand, and this is the ideal solution here. The Heinrich cross hole drill jig with the little V-block here, and we just put the work in there like that. Drill a hole through the bushing, it'll be perfectly centered. However, these cost $450. Raise your hand if you have one of these. I only saw 2 hands go up. So this is the poor man's center finder that can be used on a drill press if you have a locating table, but preferably on a milling machine. My friend Ron printed these little pointers out for me with a V from Thingiverse, and there's 2 different versions of that. This one was made with 3D printed shaft, and I had several of these, and they broke off. They were not a 100% fill. They were quite fragile. So I did away with that and made an aluminum stem. This is 1/2 inch diameter. This one is 3/8. That's kind of irrelevant. So the whole principle of this thing is that the stem here goes in the chuck of your drilling machine, and we simply move the table back and forth in this direction until the pointer lines up with the faint little index mark here. I should have made it a little deeper, but I think you get the idea. Now this is only a semi-precision tool. It's probably not going to be perfect, but we'll measure one of these when I'm done, and I would hope it would be within 5 or 6 thousandths, something like that. But if it's a cross hole that's just in a wagon axle for a cotter key, you know, it isn't that critical, but we do like to get these cross holes pretty well centered. So let's go over to the Bridgeport. Okay, here's the setup. The center finder is mounted in the drill chuck, and make sure that you orient this such that it is perpendicular to the work, just by eyeballing, but get it as close as you can. And the work is held in the vise. There's a parallel under it if necessary. It could be with the V-block or however you want to hold your round work. Now let me zoom in and find the center. Okay, next I'm going to lower the quill onto the work, and you can see that the pointer is not quite on the line, so let me move the y-axis back and forth until we get it centered. It's ready to drill. First, use a center drill or a starter drill so that the drill does not drift or wander on you. And now the finish size, in this case 1/4 inch. Now it's kind of hard to measure if I'm truly in the center. So now I'm going to take a piece of smaller stock, this is 1/2 inch aluminum, and drill another hole in there. And I have a special micrometer that will help me measure both sides to determine how accurate this little jig is, or center finder rather. Okay, this is a bit of a repeat, but in education we call it reinforcement. Ready to drill. All right, let's take it over and measure. Well, with the naked eye, it looks to be quite on center when I put this 1/4 inch dowel pin in there. Let's measure it with the Starrett micrometer. If this hole is truly on center, The wall thickness right here will be the same as here, and we really can't use the calipers for that, so let's use the Starrett micrometer. And on this side we got 121 thousandths, and I'll move it around to this side, and on this side I have 124 thousandths, so there are 3 thousandths difference, which is just a little bit over the thickness of a paper. So that's pretty darn close, and for all intents and purposes that hole is on center. Now if you don't want to make one of these, you can buy them commercially for 10 bucks or less. It's kind of difficult if you would have to make the pointer here yourself out of sheet metal. It would have to be quite accurate to be useful. So I'll put a clip right now of the Thingiverse page for this one. I can't seem to find it for this one. Ron told me it was on there and I couldn't find it. Alright, hope you enjoyed the little video on how to drill cross holes on your drill press or milling machine without a $400 Heinrich jig. So long for now.